What is the reason you started going blind?
I'm sorry.
What is the reason you started going blind? What is it? What's
Oh,
going on?
so I actually didn't know, but I have a very rare disorder called myopic degeneration. And the way it works is it's always sudden. And by sudden, I mean I went to bed one night and I woke up the next morning and most of my sight was gone.
Oh my God.
And nobody had ever detected I had such a thing. I've been
Wow.
wearing glasses for, I don't know, probably 35 years or something. Nobody ever, since I had anything, it's very rare. So it was just from that moment, you go through the stages like, bargaining where it's like, well, there's always these anomalies. My sight will come back, it's just, and the denial and things like that. And then now it's been 2 years. So it's kind of like, I've grown to unfortunately accept the fact that I'm just not going to be sighted again.
Wow. How much sight is, I mean, um, you're looking at stuff. So I was like, what level?
Mm.
I am I well this eye is pretty much like nothing, and then this eye is about 20% sight. So I've gotten kind of accustomed to seeing like shapes. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
can see Rena, I can see your beautiful hair and your teal shirt and things like that, but I can't see your face. So
That's
I see like a line.
that's kind of like, I guess, how I see without my glasses on. Some like, I mean, not as bad, but yeah, I understand what you're saying. Like being like, oh, I can't see any of your facial features, but I can just see. I know the general,
Right,
what
right.
you look like.
Wow. God, that must have been so hard. I can't even imagine.
It's rough. It's
Yeah.
rough because I'm a super independent person. I don't like having to ask for help at all. So needing to constantly ask my husband to, help plug in a charger or, take me to work because I can't drive and, things like this. It's hard for me. And it's, the pride gets very wounded, because you're like, I'm a strong woman. I don't need anyone to help me. But then you're like, yeah, I actually do. So it's a lot to try and get used to.
Oh yeah, I cannot even imagine. I mean, almost everything I do is based on just being able to see. I mean, like things I love to do, like I can't think of anything. So I can't I have nothing but sympathy. I can't even imagine what that must be like.
Well, it was, I was a literature major. I was an
Oh,
English major. And
Oh, same.
I really
Yeah.
I'm
awesome.
the opposite of a literature major.
What
I'm
math?
terrible at literature.
Oh, admitting it's the first step.
Oh yes.
But yeah, I mean, I couldn't read a book for over a year and it
Oh.
killed me.
Mm.
Like, audiobooks are great, awesome, wonderful, but like if that's all you can do, I love the feel of tangible books and being able to write in them and feel, them in my hands. And it was so some. And then thankfully, my dear friend Marianne Williamson did a fundraiser for me, and I was able to get the blind accessibility equipment I needed to be able to get my prescription reader, to start being able to read again. So, but yeah, it was like 14 months without reading a book, and I was going insane.
Is that one of those like little wand things you put over the text and then it reads to you?
Kind of, yeah, yeah. And it's prescription and it's specifically for my disorder. And like there's different size and coloring and things like that. But basically, like it's essentially it's like a specific prescription magnifier in a way. But yeah, it's $1,400. So
Oh wow.
Oh
Okay.
my
Jesus.
God. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it should be free.
absolutely. That's why I didn't have it for 14 months. So thank you, Marianne. I love you.
Wow.
That's really kind of her that she did that. But
She has
yeah,
been my biggest supporter. There's no question. For over a year, she came on my show a little over a year ago, and we just connected. And she said, how much money do we need to raise? And I was like, what?
Wow.
And then she was like, create a GoFundMe. Let's do a fundraiser. And I was like, oh my God. So she
Wow.
just we talked for 1 hour, and she just kind of picked me up and stuck me in her pocket. And we've just been close friends ever since. She's amazing.
Oh, that's nice.
did you meet because you had her on the show? That was the first time that you met?
We have met in person several times. Yeah, she was our keynote last year at our DC March, and I was MC. So, and then also we hung out in May. We were both at an Assange protest in DC. So we got to hang out then too.
Oh,
A
that's
what?
really
A what
nice.
protest?
Assange.
Julian Assange.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I heard massage. I'm like, why would you protest a massage?
Oh my
I
God.
was like, please tell me you know who Assange is,
Yes.
please.
Well, it's like if I said Sylvester, you could think the cat or Sylvester Stallone, but I'm like a full name kind of person with certain people.
Oh, gotcha.
I was like,
I knew that. That's why I was like, let me say the name.
yeah, that's me.
Yeah,
Wow.
we're getting, as we host together, we're getting to know each other's like little quirks. You
Oh,
know?
yeah. You don't have any quirks. You're just like perfect.
I'm not like
Aw,
she's always
that was
helping
very
me.
that was very sweet, but I
that was
think
super sweet.
my quirk is I'm like, we have to follow the question list. Like
That's a good quirk. I guess it's
I
a
gotta
quirk.
say, I have been interviewed probably 100 times in the past 5 years, and nobody has ever sent me questions before. I was like, oh my God, they're like organized and shit. Like,
Oh wow.
I was like seriously impressed.
Oh, what? That's great.
Oh,
Well,
well,
that's
thank
everybody
you.
but me.
Yeah. The random questions that you'll get in between, that will be Jason. That's the surprise.
That I'm an open book, even if you're illiterate. That's what I say.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but I totally know what you mean about like that, just wanting to read and like hold it in your hand. Maybe it is like an English major thing, right? Like because even like I read plenty of stuff online, but I'll still buy books, certain things that I want because I want to hold it in my hand. And yeah, and audiobooks I just don't really do because I want to look at the punctuation. Really.
Yes.
Like,
Oh my God, yes.
Oh my
Like
god.
I reread Catcher in the Rye for like the 100th time, and I'm like, yo, there are some serious missing commas. And I started taking pictures of like all the typos and stuff. And I was like, you know what? This is offensive because this is my favorite book. And there are some serious issues grammatically in here.
I wonder if it's like something happened in the reprinting process or if that is
I was thinking that, or
original.
possibly over the decades, like new grammatical rules or something like that. But
Oh yeah, maybe somebody didn't adjust for AP style or something.
right.
This is
Jason's
like
like, what's going on?
This is some kind of payback I'm getting for all the different like sci-fi nerds that we've had on. And like
Yeah.
we'll be talking about D&D and we'll be talking about, Star Wars and stuff or whatever, and Rita's or video games. And now it's literature revolution.
Okay, so you're really gonna hate me. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
I've never seen Star Wars.
That's fine.
It's like, that's fine. I'm actually I'm surprised when some people are able to avoid it. I get because it's been I feel like lately it's been like shoved out like with all the new ones. Like, and I will say I only like the old. I don't like
I've
I've seen
seen
it.
Spaceballs, and I love that.
Then you've
I
seen
like
Star
that.
Wars. It's pretty much the same thing.
Okay, then good.
Yeah. It's not a requirement.
Well, I do get kind of like,
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, well, I've never seen Godfather 2, and people like freak out
I've
on it.
never seen Godfather 1.
It's not as good as everyone says it is.
Yeah, actually,
Or
I've
any
never
of
seen
them.
Godfather either.
Yeah. If you've seen Sopranos, then you no longer need to see Godfather because it's
I have,
pales in
yes.
comparison. In my opinion. No, it factually pales in comparison.
I think when things are like super like famous, it just kind of turns me off, I guess. I don't know. Like maybe subconsciously I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so sick of hearing about Star Wars. I don't care. Like I've never seen
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings or any of those things or
Okay,
Harry
now
Potter
we have an
or-
issue.
Jason, so I read the Lord of the Rings books
Of
like
course
years
you
ago.
did.
Did not like those, and
Yeah.
then tried watching the movies, and I was like, I don't like this either.
Yeah.
It was like I don't like
It's
any
not
of it.
for everyone. I understand.
But I'm like, at least I could say I've read the books, and I was like,
So just to give you an idea of how excited I was when I saw Return of the King for the first time, which is the third episode of Lord of the Rings, I stimmed, which I didn't know until later when because my son is autistic and I saw him stimming one day and I was like, oh, I've stimmed before. It was in Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. I was in the chair. It started and I went, and I was like, oh my God, I'm on the spectrum, I think. And then I started, it's just started spinning in my head like all these parallels that I have with my son. But yeah, so it made me stim.
That's awesome.
That's a good story.
Free
I like
overload.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna like periodically pivot us back to our some of the key things that we want to talk to you about.
I will be periodically pivoting us away.
Yes.
I mean, my downstairs, we literally modeled into a theater. So we have red velvet ropes and a red velvet
nice.
curtain and framed
awesome.
pictures of all our favorite films. And so like when it comes to shows and movies, I'm just like, yeah, let's go.
Nice.
So I don't mind.
That's awesome. I bet that's really fun to watch there.
It's I mean, I can't see it, but I listen.
Oh, God.
I do my best.
Do you use that option where it explains what's going on? Like,
I find that so distracting.
I was wondering if that was distracting because
Oh my
I've
God,
accidentally
it's-
had it on before, and I'm like, does this help people?
So does it talk over the
Yeah.
the dialogue?
It's like she walks
Yeah.
into the room, she's wearing a pink dress or something. It'll say
Yep.
stuff like that. Oh, like just
While
over.
they're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that
I'm
would
like,
blow
I'd
up my
rather
brain.
hear
Yeah.
what they're saying than
Mhm.
they sauntered in and blah blah blah. Like,
Yeah.
no, it's
Because
it's
your
way too
imagination
distracting.
probably is better than what they're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Things you know, when you lose your sight, you have a way more vivid imagination when it comes to things like that.
I bet. Yeah.
I feel like English majors also have that vivid, you know, so
Yes.
it's like it just
Yes.
yeah, but
Well,
because
I have
reading,
a vivid
right, you're-
imagination too.
I know you
Well,
do.
if you like D&D and stuff,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's it. Like I hate reading, but I've read literally every book in the D&D collection.
Dork.
Yes. Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
I couldn't resist.
Oh, it's totally true.
Dorks
100%.
are awesome. I'm a dork, so I embrace it.
That's our favorite people, my opinion anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely have a lot of the fun conversations with people that are on the dork spectrum.
The dork spectrum.
Everything's a spectrum nowadays.
It really is. If we could only get everybody to agree to that, everybody would be much happier.
Right? It's
Yeah.
true.
It's
That's
not black and
true.
white. Everything is on a spectrum. Just
You just
chill
went
out.
full dork. You're not even on the spectrum anymore. That's how you talk to people now.
Yeah.
You're like pseudo quasi dork. Step it up. We need like full dork.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny that a dork, isn't that also a horse's penis?
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
I
I
just
don't know
said-
why it sounded so exciting.
You were really excited. You're like, oh my God. Well, you said full dork, and then my vivid imagination was. Sorry.
And you know what? Here's a random
Oh,
fact.
Reno's gone.
Oh
Rena's like, I'm out. This is
no, it's
not
my
about
finicky camera that
animal
I
appendages. So a narwhal, that thing they call me unicorn of the sea, because of the
Oh.
horn. It's actually a tooth.
Oh,
There it
right.
is.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
I just like to share that because a lot of people don't know that.
I have heard it. I forgot it completely.
Mark that down.
Yeah. And so does it actually grow out of their mouth through their head?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
very inconvenient.
It's like a snaggletooth, a pointy horn snaggletooth.
Oh, wow. Oh, God.
Rena's just like, why did I ask this girl to come on?
Oh, we're all having fun. Like,
Yeah.
I think like also I'm probably it's because I'm so used to serious interviews because I write articles, and all that, and like they just never get into like the fun part. So I have to adjust to like, oh, I don't have to be in business mode all the time when you're having an interview. Like it's
Mhm.
it's a weird space to do both. And I am like
Yeah.
so professionally used to doing that where like is I interview clinicians and I'm like, you can't talk about like crazy stuff with them. Like that's not
True.
Do you need a
Oh, yeah.
co-host when you when you interview clinicians?
that would get
Oh my
really
God, Sam just signed a disclaimer.
I know like that would get really interesting though, actually, if I just had you in there just when I'm interviewing clinicians.
Oh my God.
Doctor, I have a question.
Is this normal? Let me explain something.
I would get some wild quotes. They probably wouldn't be usable in any of the articles. But